Good morning, or afternoon, depending on where you are in the world, your time zone. I wanted to do this live today because as you see, I'm wearing good vibes. I have good vibes for today. For those of you who don't know me and who are new, I am Adrienne Graham. I am a serial entrepreneur. I'm the CEO and founder of Mogul Chix, now the federally registered Mogul Chix, and also managing partner for Graham Talent Group and a couple of other businesses as well. So I wanted to do this meeting today, or this Facebook Live today, because I wanted to share some things with you. So a lot of you who follow me on Facebook and all over the web and are personal friends of mine know that on the 9th, the other day, 2 days ago, I was sitting here minding my business and got the most incredible email. So I saw the little ding and I saw U.S. Patent and Trademark Office in my email. And I'm saying, what in the world? Got the USPTO. So I'm like, what in the world? What is this? Because I've been waiting so long for my trademark to happen. And I opened it up, and to my surprise, it said, you are officially registered. I'm paraphrasing. It said in my mark, Mogul Chix was officially registered. At that moment, I felt such a good sense of pride and joy. And I have the window open, so forgive me if there's any background noise. But I felt a sense of pride and joy because this has been a long time coming for me. A lot of you who know who I am and you know me, you know that I do a lot of work with women of color through Mogul Chix, and we have been the most founded but underfunded group out there, Black and brown women. So I decided that I wanted to, when I launched Mogul Chix in 2015, when I had the idea before that, but when I actually launched it in 2015, it was the mission that I had to make sure that I was speaking to, connecting with, showcasing, celebrating, telling stories of women of color who are very successful. And that is one of the things that was important to me as I launched. I'm going Mogul Chix magazine. As I launched the magazine, that was important for me too, to capture our stories and celebrate us and tell the things that are not shown a lot of times. Hopefully I'm doing that right. Hopefully you guys are appreciating that. And I can't wait for you to see who our summer cover girl is for our summer issue, which drops soon. At the time of this taping, we're putting finishing touches on it, but really focusing on our stories. So part of our story is ownership. If you go way, way back, I hate to be negative, positive vibes only, but we were owned, and then to look at today, 2022, and look at the amount of ownership that's out there, we still fall behind, but it's so much better. I feel every little victory, every little step that we take is a win for us and our ancestors. My grandparents could not have imagined what I'm doing now or where I am today. My dad probably couldn't imagine where I am today or what I'm doing. And I know that he's watching me from above, but my mom fortunately is here to see the stuff as it unfolds for me. As you know, many of you know, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have had multiple businesses since 1994. I currently run 4. And it's a juggle. It's a juggle and a struggle sometimes, but it's so fulfilling and rewarding for me. There are a lot of high highs and a lot of low lows. So I was starting to think about ownership and all of this stuff maybe around 5 years ago, and wanted to figure out, what does that look like for me? I've done a video, you guys know, with Dr. Letitia Wright. We talked about ownership in terms of content on TV channels and streaming channels and things like that. And I'm going to get into that another time. But slowly but surely, I am filing and getting ownership of a lot of things, a lot of concepts, and a lot of business opportunities that were previously closed to me. And then I go, you guys that follow me know I've been going registered trademark, the official R. I've been going crazy all over, changing everything and adding that in there to show, yeah, we're registered, federally registered. But the fight is not over, because we're going to move to international registration next. That's a whole other story. But anyway, it got me to thinking, I was always told that you need to own your own content. And I think I've done a pretty good job of that. I'm still in the process of copywriting a lot of other things from the past and things that are new. So I'm not 100% there, but I'm getting there. I got my trademark. The biggest hurdle was Mogul Chix. So now everything else that I have coming behind that, I can go ahead and move forward with those trademarks as well. And my podcast, I didn't want to sign with terrestrial radio. Well, I couldn't sign, let's say it that way, in the beginning. And then I started getting approached by some streaming platforms. I'm not going to name names. And I decided no. One, because I wouldn't own my content. And I'm big on content ownership. And two, because it just wasn't financially appealing to me. I'm not a celebrity, but I have put my time in and want to be able to get paid what I'm worth for it. So I decided to hold on to that and maintain to keep my own content. So I own my content. Nobody can tell me what I need to change. If I want to cuss, if I want to say some things that are bold and brazen, I can do that without being censored. The other thing is with the streaming channels, while they're not my platforms, unfortunately, who knows? Maybe there will be a streaming platform, not channel, in the future. But for now, I have to deal with what's there. But I made sure to protect my content, and just as you would protect your business with insurance, or you would protect your home or your automobile with insurance, we have to be mindful and protective of our IP. The internet is the wild, wild west. Although there are some rules in place, if you want to call them that, there are not many. Okay. And there's a lot of times where people just co-opt. I'm not going to say theft, steal, plagiarize. People co-opt your stuff. And, all we can do is complain on social media, get mad, whatever. But if we took the steps in the beginning to protect our IP, protect our content, protect ourselves, our business, our brand, our image, that's half the battle right there. So when I made the announcement that my trademark came through, a couple of people, not a lot of people, because I have a very cultivated community of people that I, engage with. Some people were like, oh, when I can afford it, it costs so much. Let me ask you this. Let's say you had an opportunity for a licensing deal. I'm not an attorney. Let me say that off the top. So I'm not giving legal advice. I'm giving you a what if scenario. What if you entered into an agreement with something, but you didn't own your brand or your material or whatever? You went in with someone else and they say, you know what? I decide I'm going to scrap this. We're not going to do this. And a year later, you see a similar or exact same replica of what you were talking about. I don't know the legal ramifications around that, but there have been times when I've shared things in the past and then it was capitalized on and I didn't enjoy the fruits of that. I've learned my lesson. Okay. So by protecting your stuff, your IP, all of that, you level the playing field and you put yourself at an advantage where you have ownership now, much like how we say with real estate. Let's say use real estate as an example. And I don't care what anybody says. If you have a mortgage, you don't own your home. The only way you own your home is if you paid it outright. Yes, you're leasing your home, with the option to own it if you pay off your mortgage. But for those of you who own your properties right out, you get what I'm saying. You're not beholden to anyone. That is yours to do with what you want. You can sell it at any time. You can rent it out. You can do whatever you want. Now, to be fair, before y'all come in here and start talking and you're wrong. Yeah, you can still do that with a mortgage too, but you still own that nut. If you don't pay that, they can take that away from you. If you have paid it off, nobody can take that away from you. Well, save for if you don't pay your taxes, but that's a different story. We're all going to have to pay taxes for, to some extent. But with your content, if you own it, anyone who infringes upon that, if you have a good lawyer, you can sick your lawyer on them people. You can get, restitution. You can get some kind of get back for them using your stuff. So having your protected IP versus non-protected IP is an automatic game changer. Number one, it levels you up and it gives you that leverage you can use so you can make more money. Back to my example. If you went in with your trademark and IP stuff and all of that stuff intact, there's no way someone could run with your idea and take it and make money off of it that I know of. Again, I'm not an attorney. Speak to the attorneys. On my timeline, you can find Nicole Anderson of Anderson Business Law. You can find Tony Moore, Boss Lady. You can find Radiant Harris. Those three are three that I know off the top that specialize in IP. They're in different parts of the country, but they still focus on IP and they can do that nationally. But if you get yourself protected and locked in, you're least likely to have people take advantage of you. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share on that term, in that terms. So let's talk about what we're owning. You know, it's easy to say, oh, I'm gonna trademark my business name or my brand. Da, 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 da. What are you trademarking? Mogul Chix is not only a brand in a business, it is a lifestyle, it is a community, it is a vibe, it is a level to which women of color are rarely put up and acknowledged. And we go hard, whether it's through advisory and consulting, helping women grow and scale their companies, building teams, grooming them as CEOs and real leaders, to all the way to access to capital. Mogul Chix, and you've seen me post before, we have an amazing roster of angels and VCs that we connect with, and we can, you know, send over leads for business and vice versa. And I want to see more women getting funded. Before you start funding, this is just my personal opinion. Again, I am not an attorney, so don't take this as legal advice. I would like to see us, before we start going out for funding, my phone is about to go off, y'all. Before we go out to funding and stuff like that, I want to see us own some stuff first. Proprietary stuff, you know, whether that's a trademark, whether it's a patent, whether it's copyright, you know, licensing, all of that. I want you guys to really seriously sit down and start thinking about it. And a lot of you I have in mind that I'm thinking about, you have phenomenal brands and you guys are like, I'll say internet rock stars, because I don't know what you do away from the computer. I just see how you present in Facebook and LinkedIn and all of that. What I will say is, I went and checked some of you guys and you're not protected. So start that process. I can't tell you what it was for each different attorney. You'd have to ask them yourselves. But again, look at the cost of being unprotected and leaving money on the table versus being protected and being able to call your own shots and leverage opportunities with your IP. So I want y'all to start thinking about ownership. Those of you who are creating these apps and these software programs and SaaS models and all these other things, trademark, patent, whatever you need to do, own that shit before you start going to seek funding. It's very important because, again, she who owns the bag controls her destiny and can navigate economies. Okay, so I have a lot of things coming up, a lot of plans with Mogul Chix and stuff that I'm not going to talk about right now, stuff that you already know and stuff that I won't talk about, because now that this trademark is over, see, again, here we go, y'all. Look, I said it. But now that we have this trademark, excuse the little jet planes up here where I live, you know, they fly by frequently, even in the mountains. Back to what I was saying. So, you know, with trademarks, with now that I have that, it's like the foot has come off the brake and I'm hitting accelerator pedal, you know, and I want you guys to do the same thing. Get out there, get your stuff protected. Those of you who have already started the process, I'm so proud of you and so happy for you. Those of you who are sitting on the fence and are like, I don't know if I can afford it, or I don't know what I should do with it. Listen, I got my licensing agreement done by my attorney last year or the beginning of this year. I think it was last year. Was it last year or the beginning of this year? I don't remember. But my trademark was filed last July, 2021. So I got the licensing agreement, but I put it on pause. So it's sitting in, excuse me, sitting in my folder on my computer. So I have it, it's ready to go and execute whenever I want to, but I want to hold off and wait until I got the finalization of my trademark registration. And now that I have, opportunities have opened up to me. You know, when I told you guys, when I say Mogul Chix make mogul moves and power plays, that is not just some shit to say, not just some feel good, whatever t-shirt vibe or whatever it is. No, that is really the truth. I waited strategically so that I can do this once my trademark was finalized. I can drop, you know, kick it kick it off and do what I have to do. So I've already reached out to people who have reached out to me in the past, and we're starting conversations. Opens up a whole lot of other doors, opens up a whole lot of other revenue strategies for me, for Mogul Chix, excuse me. And I don't know where they're all going to go. I don't know if they're all going to be viable. I'm going to field them out and entertain who I can entertain and make my decisions. Doesn't mean that I'm licensing out to everybody. What I've learned, and here's the thing, I can't remember who it was, but there was somebody who said, I want to say it was Bethany Frankel. I'm not really I respect her hustle. Let's just say that. But I recall her saying that at one point she was attaching the Skinny Girl brand to everything she could. And then one day she woke up and was like, no, this is not it. I can't just license out my brand to everything and all of this other stuff. And I got it. As soon as she said it, it hit me. And I'm like, what does Mogul Chix look like starting a notebook line and a school and a shapewear line and drinks and home goods? No, I have to be strategic. There are things, offshoots that I want to do that now I can move forward on. I'm not going to talk about, but it puts me in a power position. It puts me in a position of leverage. And that's what I want you guys to have, your power position and the leverage. It's not just about the trademark or the IP protection. It is also about the relationships that you build. I've been cultivating relationships actively since the early 2000s. I've been in business since 1994, but actively cultivating relationships since the early 2000s. The content that I started putting out in like 2009, 10, 11, 12, et cetera, that stuff kind of gave me my foundation and put me out there to make me known. Coming back in 2019 or whatever it was, after taking a hiatus, I still had that core community that was there for me and supportive and encouraging me to dig deeper. What I always tell you guys, dig deeper, rethink the way you do business. And there's a lot of truth to that. And now that I'm in a different power position with this trademark, I can make some real power moves and some mogul moves. So the reason for me sharing all of this is because if you're sitting here and you're trying to figure out how you're going to afford this or where you're struggling of, why should I trademark? Shouldn't I trademark? Should I do this? Only an attorney can tell you that. But what I am telling you is own your shit. We're going to own our content. We're going to own our platforms. We're going to own the block, the table, the building, the city, the industries. Ownership is so key, because when you have ownership, you get the chance to write the narrative before someone else comes and creates that narrative for you. I can write the narrative and make sure I keep the narrative of Mogul Chix on track. No one can co-opt that. Sure, they can criticize or complain or whatever. Oh, it's not fair. You're only talking to women of color. I get that. I'm in the past me of maybe 20 years ago, 19, 18, 20 years ago, would have succumbed to pressure. Since I launched Mogul Chix in 2015, started with Periscope, y'all. Do y'all remember Periscope? The little video things that we used to do. Now they got Facebook Live, but Periscope. When I first launched it, I was kind of like unclear of where I wanted to go with it, but I knew I wanted it to be about women of color. That was a non-negotiable factor for me, because with my previous company, Empower Me, I went from being focused on Black women to being focused on women of color, to being focused on all women, because we're all sisters. We don't all have the same struggles. I love you, my counterparts, my non-women of color counterparts, but no, we don't have the same struggles. We may have the same basic business struggles, but on a much broader scale than that, no, we don't have the same struggles, it's become very evident. And it means that not that Mogul Chix or myself are alienating non-women of color. I don't even know how to say that. I want to build allyships, partnerships, because stuff that I've learned over the years, and I've admitted this on my podcast, I've learned this stuff, I've earned or networked with and learned from white men, older men, white women, Asian men, a mix of people, Middle Eastern people, like all kinds of people. And I felt like my responsibility was, as I gained this knowledge, as I learned, I brought it back to people who look like me, because there's a lot of people out there that's doing the same things as women of color, but women of color are not getting that amplification that they should be getting. Am I complaining? Nope. Nope, because that's what I'm here for. That was my problem to solve. That's what I'm working on. That is what I have been working on and what I'm making headway in. So I think that allyship is very important. As a matter of fact, when you see if you've seen the first issue of Mogul Chix magazine, it's all women of color who are writers. So for the second issue, I decided to open up and allow other women to come in. It's still predominantly women of color, but I let other women come in to write as well, because knowledge is knowledge. And like I said, everything I've learned, I've brought back to people who look like me. So why not continue that? Why not have that there? So some people may say, oh, you sell out, you let, white women or such and such women or whatever come in right for you. No, my dear, it's not sell out, because knowledge is power. But the execution of that knowledge, the implementation and execution of that knowledge, it's mind blowing. And wherever you can get that knowledge from, you need to get that. I'll share something else. Recently, well, okay, a lot of you don't like the Kardashians, and they have not been my favorite people. So a couple of weeks ago, something in me just said, I have nothing to do. This is on a Sunday. I said, let me look at this new Hulu thing. Let me see what's going on with these people, whatever. And I watched the first couple of seasons of the first show, and they started it was just such foolishness. I didn't care. And then by the end of it, I was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. So over the years, though, I've been watching Kim, I've been watching Chris, and I've been watching Kylie. So love them, hate them, indifference or whatever, Chris has made sure that her children will eat forever. Okay. So instead of being angry at the Kardashians and they're useless, I choose to take the business lessons from them. So I tuned into the Hulu channel, whatever. The first episode, the opening, automatically I was impressed. Looking at what they have been involved in and the things that they updates and stuff like that, I was like, what? It captured my attention. So I didn't watch it in one sitting, but every now and then I would tune in to see what I missed, whatever. Kim has divested herself away from her ex-husband, and give no opinion on that, and really has pulled herself kind of sort of away from her mom and is stepping into her own. I won't say step fully, but stepping into her own. Now, there's some controversy going on with Skin by Kim and all this other stuff, but I saw how she strategically took down KKW Beauty. She wanted to rebrand. She wanted to come out of the shadow of her past and of her husband and create a new brand, a new company. Skims is fucking phenomenal. Okay, I give it to her, because you had before her, you had Spanx, Sarah Blakely. I love Sarah. We served on a board together in Atlanta. I love that she's doing well. She's married, she has children now, and I wish her nothing but the best. She is still the GOAT on support foundation garments. But then you had Skinny Girl with Bethany. That really, I got some of those shit. I'm not gonna give it. Then you had Yummy by Heather Thompson. And I don't. Okay. And there was a couple of other ones that came through, but when Kim came through with Skims, I haven't gotten any, but I've gotten the reviews and I know people have had them. They are amazing. Aside from the product, the fact that she had the gall to go ahead and start this company, bravo to her. And I love the way she's intersecting all of her brands and her companies to come up with her brand and her vision. Now, Skin by Kim is under some legal stuff right now because of trademark infringement by a Black woman in Brooklyn. I don't know how that's going to play out, but of course, I want to support my sister in Brooklyn. Hope it all works out for her best, because if she did trademark it indeed in the beginning, then she should be fairly compensated and she should be awarded what she needs to be awarded. But back to the Kardashians. They have really transitioned from these ditzy reality stars roaming the streets, doing dumb shit, whatever, to business women. Now, some people may have a problem with how they did their businesses or whatever, like Good American and Kylie Cosmetics and all of that. I choose to look at the business lessons. Number one, yes, protect your shit and you can't let people infringe on it. And the what's the word I'm looking for? Not assimilation. You guys know what I'm talking about. The borrowing, the co-opting, the stealing, infringing on certain cultures is not cool. And I don't condone that. But like I said, they have to work that out and come to a resolution. But it made me take a look at the things that I have coming up, some stuff I've mentioned to you guys, some stuff I haven't, and I'm keeping close to the vest because you can't tell everybody your stuff. But it made me rethink the way I do business, and it gave me confidence to go forth for some of the things that I decided I wanted to do and that I am doing. And between my four brands, three of them, yeah, well, maybe two, because Graham Talent Group really is just, it is what it is. But as far as the other two, Mogul Chix and Busy's Place, Busy's Intimates, I got crystal clear. And they helped me with that. Who knew, right? Just watching that first episode and then watching how they moved, and Kim moved and all this, and how they did with their businesses and their brands. So back to my point, get a business lesson wherever you can get the business lesson. Let's not start complaining. Yes, point out the wrongdoing. You know, if there's infringement, hell yeah, point it out. If it's somebody stealing something, blatantly co-opting it, hell, appropriation. That's the word I was looking for. Cultural appropriation. If there's that going on, yeah, call it out. But what we do after we call it out is we don't continue to discuss it. We start thinking and take the business lesson from it and apply it to our own business and learn what we learn and then come out swinging. That's what we got to do. So let me wrap this up because I got some stuff going on. My dog just looked at me like, Jose Cuervo, you guys know Jose Cuervo. He's like, Mom, I gotta eat. Anyway, own your stuff. Don't be afraid to talk to an attorney. I believe the 3 attorneys that I mentioned do a consultation. I know Nicosia Anderson does. Hit her in her DMs. Let her know that I sent you. Hey, Nicosia. Her Facebook is Nicosia Noel. So make sure and I'll put the links, I'll put the tags down in the bottom so you guys can ask them questions. But Tony Moore is on Facebook and Instagram as well. So is Nicosia. And I don't know their handles. And Radius Harris, all of them, I think Radius Harris is under her name, but I don't know all of their handles, but they're all 3 of them are on Facebook and on Instagram and on LinkedIn. So make sure you reach out to them, set up a consultation with them, find out how they work and all of that, and just get your stuff protected. Protect your shit so you can own your shit. So remember, content, ideas, platforms, products, everything. Let's start looking at ownership. Let's start digging deeper and building bigger. Now, really quickly, there are some of you who are going to come on here and say, well, I want to stay small. I don't care about that. This is not for you. So I don't care. I don't want your comment. You can comment, but it's not going to affect what I said. This is for women who are thinking bigger on a grander scale and who are looking to build those multi-million-dollar and billion-dollar empires. We got to start at the bare core basic foundations. Own your shit first, then use that as a building block to build upon. So with that said, leave your comments. Let me know what you think about that. I'm not answering any IP questions because I can only speak from my own experience and I'm not an attorney. But if you want to learn how to build and scale your company through building your team or your systems or your operations and all that other stuff, make sure you let me know. COO school is coming soon. I will talk to you about that later. In October, Mogul Chix Academy starts its new schedule for the accelerator. We're no longer going to be 6 months. It's going to be 4 months. And the new session starts, I think, October 19th. So ask about that. MogulChixAcademy.com. What else? Funding School is also dropping in October. I've lost count of how many we've done. We do them maybe twice a year, but this year we didn't do it yet. No, we did do it. We did it in the spring, I think, but we're doing it again in October. And then what do we have coming in November? Something's coming up. I don't know, but the summer issue drops this coming week for Mogul Chix magazine. Make sure you get it. If you have not gotten the spring issue, get it. It's still available with me on the cover. That's me. Oh, That's me. Always tune into Mogul Chix Chat podcast. I'm still uploading episodes. I just did an episode drop this week. I'll put some more up this weekend. And I think that's it. We got a lot of stuff going on, you know. Oh, and our money issue debuts in October. That's going to be a double special issue of Mogul Chix magazine in October. I tell you, there's a lot of things going on in October, and I want you guys to really be prepared, because this is going to be a power issue. Yes, we're going to talk about ownership and all that stuff in there, but we're going to talk about everything, finance, economics, wealth building, and all of that. And we got some heavy hitters writing for us, so I'm very proud of that. And if you're one of my writers, please make sure you remember September 7th is the deadline to get your article in for the fall issue, for the money issue. And your ads are due the 15th of September, I think it is, 15th or 17th, whatever it is. Make sure you get your stuff in there, though. And if you're interested in writing, I'll drop the link below. You can book a call with me to figure out how you can write for the magazine, see if we're a good fit. And I'm no longer doing free discovery calls. Either you're in or you're out. You can look at all my content online to see if I fit for you. And a video series is about to drop soon, kind of outlining, explaining each core function that we do through Mogul Chix and through Graham Talent Group. Oh, and if you're looking for talent, grahamtalentgroup.com, we place permanent direct hires. We also do interim C-level, CEO, COO, CFO, CIO, CTO, whatever. We do that on short-term engagements, 6 to 12 months. And yeah, Graham, GRAHAM, like the cookie, talentgroup.com. And of course, Mogul Chix, hopefully my broken down website will be done soon. So in the meantime, you guys have a wonderful week. Go out there and get yourself covered and protected. And if you have any questions, you can always shoot me an email at contact@mogulchix.com. Drop a DM or hit me down below. So y'all have fun. Talk to you soon. Get protected. And then what? Mogul Chix make mogul moves and power plays. Take care.